On behalf of everybody at Morse Bank, I just want to say welcome and thank you for being here this morning. You know, Morse Bank is very excited to be a sponsor of this event. This is actually the second year in a row we've been a sponsor, and for the last 2 years, it's actually sold out. And I mean, that's pretty impressive when you think about this many folks coming out this early in the morning to support our community. It's really, really special. And that's what our community is about. It's about growth just like this. We enjoy seeing growth as it relates to most everything in our community. And what makes Dublin and Lawrence County so special is that every one of you like to see that growth as well. We're doing this together. You know, as we grow, we don't lose sight of who we are. I mean, again, it's a testament to everybody putting on these green jackets and supporting the festival and supporting what we do each and every year. It's kind of our philosophy at Morse Bank. We enjoy growing. We enjoy doing things like this, community banking events. Everybody in this room, both big and small, again, you are supporting this community, and we appreciate that. We appreciate you allowing us to grow with you. We appreciate you allowing us to provide financial services to you, your families, your businesses, everybody. We sincerely thank you for your business. Again, thank you for letting us be a part of your day today. And I would end, but not end, but I'm going to say, Aaron, go blue. Thank you. All right. Now I'd like to recognize some very special folks that we have with us today. If you are an elected state or local official, will you please stand? Thank you all. So you want to talk about growth and economic impact. We have a very special guest with us today. This person represents the largest economic impact in all of Middle Georgia. We're honored to have Colonel Katrina Stevens, the 78th Air Base Wing Vice Commander at Robins Air Force Base. Colonel Stevens is responsible for the management of a facilities and equipment budget valued at over $8 billion. $8 billion. She also is responsible for the execution of a $171 million yearly operating budget. She is also responsible for the safety, security, morale, and welfare of over 22,000 airmen stationed at Robins and 28,000 local dependents and retirees. We appreciate you, Colonel Stevens, and Chief Master Sergeant Gary Hart for being with us today. We thank you for what you do for Middle Georgia, but we also thank you more so for what you do for our great country. And Colonel Stevens, I'd like to ask you to come up and say a couple of words.
I'm not that tall, so I'll tell you what. We'll do this. First and foremost, thank you for the opportunity to come here. It is about community, and every time that Chief Hart and I have the distinct privilege to come here, we are humbled by the welcome that we receive, not just in Dublin, but across Middle Georgia. This place is unbelievable. And when I say this place, I'm talking all of Middle Georgia. You mentioned the economic impact. I am happy to share with you, as my boss, Colonel Lyle Drew, will do later this week. We just released the economic impact for the for FY18, and we've grown, which is amazing. Our current economic impact is $3.15 million for Middle Georgia. So yes, we matter. We matter because of you and with you. It's a collaborative effort. We could not do this alone. Again, it's an amazing opportunity to serve and work in an environment such as Middle Georgia. Again, as I mentioned before, there is no place like Middle Georgia. Not only have we grown economically, but we've actually increased our workforce by almost 1,200. I'm sure that most of you in this room is familiar with the 1,212. Well, we're well on pace to not only meet that, but surpass that. So Robins is growing. And thanks to your help and to the missions that we continue to enhance at Robins Air Force Base, we will continue to grow. So right now we are employ about 23,000 of Middle Georgia's finest. And again, that'll just continue to grow as the missions do. Then, on behalf of Chief Hart, myself, it's an honor and a privilege to be here, and we look forward to the rest of the program. So, sir, back to you.
Okay, now I have the honor to present two lovely young ladies, our new St. Patrick's Queens. Miss St. Patrick, Sydney Harrison, would you stand up? And Miss Emerald City Mackenzie Moore. Thank you both. Okay, now I'd like to take just a moment and recognize the 54th Annual St. Patrick's Award Banquet winners. When I call your name, please stand and remain standing. Audience, if you would, please hold your applause until all the recipients have been recognized. Okay, the R.E. Dick Killebrew Memorial Award, Beatrice Jarris and Will Curry. The Youth of the Year, Carmen Leroy. The Honorable Leprechaun Order of the Shillelagh, Jody Edge. The Honorable Leprechaun Order of the Blarney Stones, a person near and dear to my heart, the Executive Director of the DDA, Ms. Tara Bradshaw. The Senior Citizen of the Year, another person near and dear to my heart. He's also my third or fourth cousin, according to 23andMe, Mr. Wayne Christian. Woman of the Year, a lady who was downtown when all the revitalization started, Miss Kathy Jones. Man of the Year, the consummate gentleman, Mr. Ted Short. And the Amy Cannon Spirit of the Festival Award, the Honorable Helen Harper. Congratulations. Okay, now I'd like to recognize everyone that's on the 54th Annual St. Patrick's Festival Committee or ex officio members. If you're a member of the committee or an ex officio member, will you please stand to be recognized? Thank you all. We know it is a tremendous amount of work, and we really, really appreciate all the hard work that you folks put in to make all this happen. Okay, so now I'm honored and privileged to introduce our guest entertainer. This man certainly needs no introduction in Middle Georgia. While he certainly doesn't look it, this man has been on TV since most of us were only able to tune in about 3 channels on our TV. Except on that clear Saturday or Friday night when we could watch a little wrestling. Can I get 2 claps and a Ric Flair? Woo! Without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome the 13 WMAZ legend, Mr. Frank Malloy.
We're still the one. Century 21 Durden Corrigan is still the #1 realty company in Dublin and Lawrence County. After another record-breaking year, we're off to a great start for 2019. If you're buying or selling land, commercial property, residential property, or looking for investment property, there's only one name you need to know. Century 21 Durden Corrigan. For more information, log on to c21dublin.com. Call us at 272-1535 or stop by our location at 1700 Veterans Boulevard in Dublin. Century 21 Durden Corrigan, broker George Durden.
We're still having fun and we're still the one.
Dublin Nissan brings innovation that excites. Your next new Nissan is waiting now.
All new for 2019, the 2019 Nissan Altima SR. Now up to $4,000 off MSRP. Also get up to $5,000 off MSRP or 0% financing available for the 2019 Rogue SV. Get the best savings on our award-winning lineup today.
Call, click, or come see us. Dublin Nissan, the only dealer you will ever need.
Be putting my money in your bank anytime soon, okay? Just wanted to let you know. 3 channels. Had to go there, didn't we? Good morning, everybody in the DUB. It is good to be here this morning. it is good to know this is what it's like to be up at 8 a.m. in the morning, okay? I have worked in television 39 years, 38 of them I have not gone to work till 3 in the afternoon. The 1 year that I worked dayside many years ago, my family hated it. Kids didn't like it. Wife didn't like it. No one liked Dad being there during the night. Don't you have something to do, Dad? I interrupted their routine. So back to work I went at night. So it is good to be here. I appreciate all of you at the Chamber. Thank you very much. Heath, Spence, it's great to be here today. I appreciate all of the hard work the Chamber made, because let me tell you, to sell out an event when Frank Malloy is the guest speaker, that takes some doing, okay? Malia told me, can you get us a picture? We want to kind of publicize this early. And I said, no, you really don't. You really don't want people to know I'm going to be here, okay? I literally was envisioning, when she first said you're going to be the speaker, a couple of chamber tables, figuring they had to be here, and 2 groups of foursomes waiting to tee off. And I thought that would be it. So because this is such a big group, you get the A game today, folks, all righty? I actually wrote some notes down. This from a guy who's used to reading the words off a teleprompter, okay? So we're not sure how this is going to go, but we're going to make it work, all righty? I know the reason a lot of you came today, or some of you. Don't worry, I understand it, and I'm fine with it. You were probably hoping, I hope he brings Ben Jones with him today. He is the cute. I bet it's just a barrel of laughs working with that Ben Jones. He's just so funny. No, it's not a barrel of laughs working with him, okay? All righty. Never again. I brought him with me to one event many years ago, and for those of you who are older, you'll understand, you would have thought Elvis had entered the building, okay? Especially among the women. Whoosh! There I am, off to the side. Some lady finally felt sorry for me and said, you can help us set up the tables if you want. Never again. Because I understand. Everybody loves the weatherman. Oh, gosh, they get the crack. You know, oh, he really missed that forecast. That was so funny, wasn't it? Try getting someone's name wrong when you're talking about him being arrested. Then you'll see what's funny, okay? So everybody loves the weather guy. I understand that. That goes back a long time, okay? Because I don't know. I'm sure some of you remember. I know several of you remember Johnny Payne, the Dubose Porter. They're still sporting the same hairstyle this man had. You remember good old Bill Powell. Old Bill, the very first weather guy I worked with. I started in May 1982. Bill started in September of 1982 doing the weather. And I have to be honest with you, for a little while there, I was a little confused where Dublin was, because I was trying to find out where all these new places were. Well, all right, so if you're the weather person now, you understand that there are no maps behind them, okay? It used to be a blue screen. Now it is a green screen behind them, okay? And it's called chroma key, and they don't have a map there. So in order to figure out where they're supposed to point, they got a camera here. They got a camera here when they face this way, and they got a camera this way. Now, I'll give Ben that. He's pretty good at looking and pointing, all righty? But poor old Bill had never done weather in his entire life. This man grew up on radio. And if you looked at him, you knew why he was on radio, okay? All right, the old craggy face and the bald head, it only got you so far. So poor Bill, he was trying to learn how to do all this stuff and also learn about the weather, and so for the longest time, he'd be talking about Dublin, but he'd be pointing in Alabama. I said, boy, that's going to be a long ride to cover a football game all the way over there. He finally got it straightened out, and boy, what a fun guy he was. But I work with a lot of great people, and I know, that's okay. The weather people, they're their own breed, and there's no issue with that. All right, so when you get to be my age, I'll be 62 in April, so I'm trucking over here this morning, and really, age is not a big deal with me. Every once in a while, some people I work with make it seem like a big deal. I can always tell. Now, for those of you who don't know, Ben is married to Laura Lynch-Jones. Laura used to be the 5 o'clock news anchor with me. Wonderful person, really smart, god-awful taste in men, okay? That's all I'm... And so, every once in a while, when she gets a little angry, and it's usually because her husband has done something pretty stupid, and I'll remind her of the fact that I told you not to marry him, she'll get, and I can tell when she's married at me because she'll call me Francis. She'll say, Francis, do you realize that when you started at 13 WMAZ, I was 2 years old, and I am now your boss? I say, wonderful. Thank you, I appreciate that. So I'm trucking over here this morning, all right, being philosophical, bouncing my way through Twiggs County. on I-16. And what is, as many people as they pull over in Twiggs County, they can't have a nice stretch of road? There's always somebody pulled over there. It doesn't matter. 2 spots, you better go the speed limit. Twiggs County on I-16 and Dooley County on I-75, okay? Always somebody pulled over. But I'm bouncing along through I-16 this morning, and I'm thinking, the likelihood of me standing in front of you today talking to you and all of the different factors that had to come together for this to happen. All right, we'll start with the fact that growing up, and this is one of the reasons my mom named me what I was, my official name is Francis Xavier Malloy Jr., named after my dad. And the reason I'm pretty sure my mom named me Francis is for the longest time, my mom held out the fervent hope that I would become a Catholic priest. That, her brother was a Catholic, but she was convinced, and hence Father Francis. She was thrilled when the Pope took the name Francis, trust me. So that was the first thing, is that I was supposed to be a priest, okay? Number 2, the Malloys never move out of Philadelphia. That's where they're born, that's where you're raised, and that's where they die. For some reason, my dad decided to take a leap of faith and move to Georgia, and I am very grateful that he did. So that was the second thing. And number 3, the likelihood of me standing in front of a group and speaking growing up was 0. You talk about shy, good Lord, I wouldn't talk to anybody. My mom never had to worry about me going on a date because that would have required talking to a girl. And I wasn't going to do that. And that followed me into college. And I'm sure when I told my parents that I was going to be a sportscaster growing up, I'd only imagined what they were thinking, but they never said it. So those 3 things had to come together. And then finally, my senior year at the University of Georgia, I thought I was going to be a newspaper writer. I'd already taken a job as a sports writer in Anderson, South Carolina. I walked into my advisor's office. He picks up the phone, hands it to me, and says, Malloy, Columbus, Georgia is looking for a sportscaster. And the reason he handed me the phone is, not only was I really shy, I was the biggest procrastinator in the world. Forget about putting something off till tomorrow. Next week or next month was even better for me. And he knew if he didn't hand me the phone, I wasn't making that call. So he gave me the phone, I made the call. The only thing they were looking for in Columbus, Georgia was somebody who was breathing, I think. So they hired me, and I started work there in 1980. So happened a gentleman by the name of Don McGurk was the general manager at a station in Columbus, Georgia. I wasn't real good in Columbus, okay? If you think I'm not really good now, you should have seen back then, all right? He moved to Macon, called me up and said, you want to come work at WMAZ? My wife had heard they had a better mall in Macon than in Columbus, so she was all for it. And thus we trucked, May of 1982, and we were going to spend in Macon a total of 3 years. 3 years in Macon. Now, I know you're thinking, that was 1982, this is 2019. That seems a little longer than 3, but see, I didn't know that there was a number after the 3. I just thought there was a 3. So I put a 7 after that, which is a tribute to no one ever wanting to hire me again. So here I am, 37 years now. It'll be in May of this year when I started here. And it's been a wonderful ride. I can, you kind of think as you're going along where your past lie. I know a lot of you I know, and Heath and I were talking about this, you grow up and you kind of have an idea, and Spence the same thing, where you're going to end up. That you think, I'm from this area, I'll probably end up back here. I really had no idea where I was going to end up. And I didn't really think Macon in central Georgia was going to be the place that I was going to start and finish my career, because you just have different ideas of what's important and what things mean to you. So when I came to Macon, I really didn't think of this as a destination place. It was just a stopping point. But then you start having kids, priorities change, start getting comfortable, and all of a sudden it's your home. And this place has been my home since 1982. It has seen the Malloy family through a lot of really good things, and it's seen us through a lot of difficult things. And it's those times, I think, especially the difficult times, that you really understand where you are and that this is where you're supposed to be. And it happened with me 7 years ago this month. My son was in a serious car accident. He's doing well now. He's still in a wheelchair, but I'm proud of him. He gets around. He probably shouldn't be here to this day. He was trapped in the car for 6 hours before they pulled him out. But then I truly found out what it's like to be home and to be part of a community. The way the community surrounded us, we had so many people, they had to keep moving us from different rooms in the hospital because so many people came out that day when he had that wreck. And the lady finally said, Mr. Malloy, we're going to have to put you at the Centerplex pretty soon because there's just too many people here. And then 2 years ago when my wife unexpectedly passed, the same thing, an outpouring of support that I didn't really deserve, but it was just unbelievable. There are people who put us on the prayer list 7 years ago, and I warned them. I said, you put the Malloys on the prayer list, we may never go away, okay? And we are still there. But it is a wonderful place to be, and I certainly appreciate all of that support. The kindness is towards my family, towards my children, towards myself. You can never imagine how that made me feel, and the wonderful feeling that it has to make me feel like this truly is the place that I was meant to be.
At Morris Bank, we understand that your personal finances and banking experiences can be stressful. We also know that it doesn't have to be that way. That's why for over 60 years, we've dedicated ourselves to providing common sense banking to people just like you.
Even when I started working here, there was a definite vibe that you felt when you walked in the door, from the music that you're always going to hear playing to the hello, good to see you, welcome, how can we help you? You know, it's just a different experience when you bank here.
We work hard to combine the latest online mobile technology and top-notch customer service that allows us to do just that.
We realize our customers have choices, but what sets us apart is the personal service that we provide that they may not receive at larger institutions. We like to make you feel at home, and we like to make the process as easy as possible when you're banking with us.
But we're not focused on helping just our customers. We are equally dedicated to supporting the community we are a part of. Just this year alone, we've logged thousands of community service hours and provided significant financial support to the communities we serve.
Something that sets us apart at Morris Bank is what we give back to the communities in which we serve. And as the communities continue to grow, that brings more business and more industry into the area, and it's just this circle effect of giving back and receiving what the community can offer.
We want to make sure you have the best banking experience possible. Come see us or give us a call to find out what makes Morris Bank different, because we're banking on you.
And as you go along, once you kind of establish this is where you're going to be, you kind of figure out, all right, so then what can I do next? And I've always tried to come up with a few life lessons, especially when I talk to younger people about what their role is or what they think their role is going to be. Number one, I figure you have to embrace your role, whatever that's going to be. It may not always be what you envision it when you're growing up, or what you think it's going to be, or what you dream it's going to be, but you find out what it is, and then you embrace it. And that may mean challenging yourself. And I always tell people, I said, don't ever worry about stretching yourself or about thinking, God, what happens if I fall on my face or something like that happens? Because trust me, you're never going to fall on your face in a bigger way than I did many years ago. 6 o'clock news comes on, most watched program in Central Georgia back then, and it still is now. And I look straight into that camera, and I say, hello, everyone, thanks for joining us. I'm Lori Johnson. I did it. Trust me. If you ever want to see it, you know who's got a clip of it. Good old Ben. He's got it. Yep. Looked dead in the camera, and who was the most startled person? Was the person sitting next to me who said, and I'm Lori Johnson, because she actually was Lori Johnson. Don't ask me what I was thinking, okay? So don't ever worry about falling flat, okay? It's not going to get much worse than that. But I survived, barely. So, embrace your role. Stretch yourself a little bit. Figure out what you're supposed to be doing and then go after it and pursue it. Number two, really important, especially when I talk to younger kids growing up, is surround yourself with really good people. And I've always stressed this to my family. Whether it's your coworkers, and I get to work with a lot of really great people at that station, and I've been blessed over the years to work with some really wonderful people. And Laura does a really good job at choosing people like that, and I've been very fortunate in that regard. But then also, not only the people you work with, but your friends, especially younger people when you're growing up. Because I said, you know what? You look around and you better have good people around you, because there is going to come a time, I can almost guarantee it, when the people you have around you are the ones who are going to save you in difficult situations. Maybe the ones who take the keys when you've been drinking too much and you're planning on driving. Maybe the ones who pull you out of a situation that could really escalate into something. So you've got to make sure that your friends and the people around you are people you can count on and people you can rely on. I'm fortunate to have that, and I'm fortunate to have people at work that I rely on. And we cut up and we make fun, but we know in the end that we're always going to be there for one another. And number 3, I think is important, is to take time each day, if possible, just to help somebody else, whether it's you on your way up, helping somebody who's looking up to you. And it doesn't have to take a lot of time, because I know a lot of you have a lot of things going on. We can't all live the life of the retired leisure person like Johnny Payne, okay? We just can't, all right? Just not the way to. And you've got kids, and you've got work, and you've got this and that. But it can be something as simple as saying thank you or hello to somebody. Because I'm thinking we're all can remember a time that you're going through the day, and you know, it's one of those days you just don't want to be nice to people, okay? You just want to be mad or angry or whatever. And we have those, and I try and be cheerful. Hey, we don't come into work till 3 o'clock in the afternoon. You got plenty of time to get pepped up, okay? So I try and be cheerful, but there's some days we're not. And the other day, I was rolling into work, and I don't know what, who knows what got me in a funk? I have no idea. There's no real reason for it. And I'm rolling down the ramp, and I'm not really wanting to see anybody or talk to anybody. And you're sitting there at the traffic light, and you know how you're sitting there and you're not really wanting to look at anybody, and you're just staring straight. And I look over, and I can see somebody looking, and I said, oh no. And then the window starts to come down. So I roll my window down. Frank Malloy, I said, yes, that's me. He said, you do a really good job. And I said, well, bless your heart. You sure you got the right person? And that's all. And all of a sudden, that's all it took was somebody just to do that. And sometimes that's all it takes. It's just to acknowledge somebody and let them know, hey, I see you. You work hard. I just wanted to say hello or say thank you. And what that can do to a person, how that can change somebody, not only for that day, but down the road. Say, somebody really knows who I am or what I do. There are a lot of people out there, a lot of faceless people who don't ever get that. And so if you can take time to do that, I would certainly encourage it. Because let's face it, in the world today, one thing I admire about what y'all do is the amazing support that y'all have for one another. I mean, how you put on this festival and how you support this festival. All these folks getting out at 8 o'clock this morning to come to this event, especially when I'm the speaker, okay? I admire you for that. But the pancake supper this Thursday will be slammed full. I mean, people every year come back. They know each other. They reacquaint themselves with one another. The parade, how you support one another. Because you're a community. You care about one another. And I think that is extremely important, especially in this day and time, because let's face it, there is a lot of bad news out there. There are some days we'll go through and read 10 minutes worth of bad news. And it is like, my gosh, is this all there is? But all it takes is one snippet of a story with good news or one good news story to change your whole outlook on anything. There can be bad, that's what I mean when it just says just taking time to acknowledge somebody, because just like that, it can change your outlook on life. It can change the way you feel about other people. And that's all it takes, is just one snippet, a bit of good news. Then we roll into some bad jokes from Ben. And then Marv gets up and says, let go! And then we roll This Is Home on a Friday. And all of a sudden, all is right with the world. And it's really a simple thing. And all of a sudden, you feel pretty good about yourself. And you got an extra spring in your step. And I know this time of year, you folks have that extra spring in your step. Your community, you know, you care about each other. You care about this event, this festival. You care about the way this community looks to others who come and visit. You want to project a good image. And I admire that about you. And I appreciate you taking the time to do that, because it uplifts everybody and it makes everybody feel good about themselves. And I think that's really important in this day and time. And I feel really good to be able to come here today to talk to you folks, to be in Dublin, Georgia, on this wonderful morning. I think he actually got the forecast right today. He did say it was going to be sunny. It's not rare. It's all right, okay? With the sun shining, and to say thank you for putting me here. Now, if any of y'all have any questions, I'll be happy to answer a few if you have anything about what we do. Now, I will admit now, another thing I enjoy about what I do, we are a powerful station. We get watched by a lot of people, and that means people feel free to give you feedback. And that's good, okay? It's all right. You know, sometimes, it's no problem. Remember years ago, it was the big deal. I changed my hairstyle about 10 years ago, okay? It used to be, as of course Ben would say, he used to call me the helmet hair. It kind of came down and went over this way. So I decided to change as you get a little older. And I remember a lady in Lowe's walking up to me and, "You changed your hair." I said, "I did." She said, "I like the old way better." Off she went down the paint aisle. Thank you. Good. Time I went to the dry cleaner. Sliding my clothes in, the lady looked at me and said, "Can I ask you a question?" And then, "Yeah, sure. How come only the good ones leave your station?" Thank you. "And may your starch machine break down." That's it. Just kind of tried to rationalize that one and said, "Oh." Or the ones that come up to you and say, "You look a lot different than you do on TV," and then they walk away. You fill in the blank, okay? Now I will say, this is the line we're going with, and we stick with it. TV puts about 10 pounds on you, okay? That's what they say, and that's what we're going with, all right? It makes you look short, old, and fat, all righty? I qualify in a couple of those categories, but I try not to go the other way. So we do have a lot of folks. There are always a lot of people with questions. We do have a lot of really good people that come and go. Some of us have stayed. Myself, Suzanne Lawler has been with us a long time. She does our weekend morning, and she is a wonderful person, even though she went to Florida. Ben's not going, well, Ben's definitely not going anywhere because he sleeps with a boss every night, okay? So we have no hope of getting rid of him. They are about to celebrate 10 years of marriage, and I told Laura the other day, I said, the over-under betting line for you two was 3 years, okay? You have far exceeded that. Ben's not going anywhere, Marv's not going anywhere, and I'm not going anywhere. And the rest of them, we rotate around. Most of them will come for 2 years, and then you just get used to them, and you start liking them, and then they move on. And I've seen a lot of really good people come and go, and been very fortunate and very blessed. So anybody, any questions or anything like that? I've probably, yes?
I have a question, but it hadn't got anything to do with Channel 13.
That's perfect.
Tell us about Matt.
Matt?
Miss Matt on
Oh,
Friday
Matt
night.
yes. Matt is my youngest. I have 4 kids. 35, 33, soon to be 30, and Matt is 23. Matt used to sit on Football Friday night. He would sit between me and Ben in the middle. We called him Matt in the middle. That's back when he was little, and he never spoke back then either. He speaks a lot now, though. I like those days better. He is 23 now and has grown up. But yes, and yeah, you go back to those days, and I think it kind of embarrasses him now. But yeah, Matt would sit right there. He was like our mascot for Football Friday night.
We miss Matt.
Oh, well, thank you. He'll appreciate that. He's still in school. You know how guys are. Heaven forbid we get out of college in 4 years. Oh, that's a novel thought. I'm just changing majors at that point. You mean I'm supposed to work, Dad? Oh, God, help us. Never mind. What is it the girls think? Boom, out they go and they're done. Guys just hitting their stride about 24. Dad, I got about 4 more football seasons left in me. Great. Well, thank you very much for having me. I hope I have entertained you as I was supposed to be. I hope you have a wonderful week. I appreciate you welcoming me to your community. You are great folks. I appreciate everything that you do to make Central Georgia the place that it is, the special place that it is. God bless you. If ever I can be of help, feel free to give me a call. Lord knows I ain't going to find another job. So thank you very much.
Frank, we appreciate you so much this morning and that encouraging message. And to me, I even heard a little bit of a testimony in there. Thank you so much for sharing with us this morning. You know, Frank mentioned family. And I don't know if you caught it or not. I didn't practice what I was going to pray this morning, but I remember when I prayed in our invocation this morning, and I said, thank you for this wonderful family that we have here. And that's what we have here. If you look around the room, we have a huge family support, whether it's a ribbon cutting, a new business, a new person coming to this town. Dublin really knows how to welcome people. And so I think we need to make Frank an official member of our family by presenting him with a green jacket.
Oh, now we're talking. Oh, now, yeah. I know somebody who's going to be jealous tonight, okay?
Ben doesn't have one of those. Again, very special thank you, Spence, Morris Bank. We appreciate you guys enabling us to be able to have such a great event every year. Thank you for coming back as our sponsor. Frank, again, thank you to our pageant queens and to all of our award winners and all of our St. Patrick's folks. We appreciate all of your hard work and efforts. And to all of you, thank you for making it a great day for business in Dublin and Lawrence County. We're done. We're adjourned.
Nearby.